BlackRock token called Build. The minimum amount investment is $5 million, so it's very restricted to a few people. But using Speck, we can buy these assets, break down into smaller pieces, and put it available in our platform. So we can have like $1,000 token, $500 token. So it's way more accessible than $5 million.
So welcome back to another XDC Mina podcast where we talk about blockchain, innovation, technology, projects, and of course about the XDC network. I am Rebecca Dawson, XDC's lead of ecosystem development and your host. Today, I'm very delighted to have Eduardo Macera, founder of Speck Finance. Speck Finance is a platform that helps users to earn better and stable returns in decentralized finance. So let's get started. So, Eduardo, all the way from Brazil, welcome to Dubai. Welcome to the XDC Mina podcast.
Yeah, thank you, Rebecca, for having me.
It's always a pleasure to have you guys in this podcast. So, Eduardo, before we dissect what Speck Finance is, can you tell us more about yourself and, your blockchain or Web3 journey?
I'm graduated in business. I also have a specialization in innovation by Stanford University. I've been doing this for 15 years. I've been doing a tech entrepreneur. I sold my last startup for a NASDAQ listed company in 2022. Then my former board member called me and he told me, hey, we have something. We are working on something here called Kiza, which is a venture studio focused on Web3, and he invited me to join as an investor. So I started doing some investments as an angel, and Kiza was the most different one because Kiza is tokenized. I need to sign up like a Binance and deposit USDT, and then I created my MetaMask wallet and withdraw my USDT to my MetaMask, then swap to the Kiza token. So that's how I became Kiza investor, and so it was a very immersive experience. I think most people starting crypto buying Bitcoin. My case was pretty different, but was very interesting, and I was like finishing my earnout period. Then they invited me again to be part of Kiza as an entrepreneur as well. So I became entrepreneur in at Kiza, and after a year, we identified a very interesting opportunity. That's why we founded Speck Finance.
Okay, perfect. So you're a seasoned investor and a seasoned entrepreneur. So with these experiences in the market, so why did you create Speck Finance?
Everything started when we watched Larry Fink interview in March 2024. He said, Bitcoin ETF, it's just the beginning. All assets will be tokenized. Then we started like following the real world assets market, and it's growing. Only last year have grown by 50%, I think. So we truly believe there is an opportunity here. That's why we created a platform to trade real world assets.
All right. So is there any specific problems in Brazil that you want to solve through Speck Finance?
Yeah, Brazil, people struggle to thrive. People suffer a lot due to inflation. We had hyperinflation in the 80s. After Plano Real, our economy stabilized, but even then we suffer due to inflation. And I like to give an example. Since you are like buying bread, you are paying with dollars, because even though we are huge producers of cereals, we don't have, we need to import some. Uh, if you are buying a car produced in Betim, Minas Gerais, 40% of its parts are imported. So at the end of the day, we are paying uh, our stuff in Brazil with dollars, but we get our rates in reais. So we understand how important it is to allocate part of your funds abroad and be exposure to dollar in order to protect your wealth, your assets, your money against inflation.
Yeah, I think these problems that you mentioned, inflation, currency devaluation, and limited investment options, it's not just in Brazil, but majority in the emerging markets. So why do you think traditional solutions are not enough?
Yeah, I talk a lot about Brazil because we are there. We know our reality, but our thesis, we think, can be applied in almost emerging markets like as Argentina, Mexico, even Nigeria, Turkey. We think real world assets, it's the TradFi future. We believe all the assets will be traded using blockchain infrastructure. That's why we started like how we are going to approach this market. And we bring mainly tokenized gold, stable coins, yield-bearing stable coins backed by US treasuries. We also have some DeFi investments opportunities. So all of them, they are really good products, and it's way easier to allocate your funds using them instead of like TradFi, because TradFi, there are a lot of layers and fees, and everything is very expensive. So we believe reward assets to be more cost efficient.
Right. So now that we have identified the problem, as you mentioned, there are several countries, not just Brazil, right? And how do you think Spec Finance address these problems differently, particularly in making global investment accessible through tokenization?
So in Brazil, all the competitors that we have, they are using only TradFi rails. Uh, so I think we have an advantage because you doesn't make any sense to start like this kind of platform nowadays not using blockchain. So I think, of course, this market is just the beginning, but once it grows, we think we are going to take advantage of all the benefits regarding 24/7 allocation and redemption. It's very fast to allocate and have the redemption of your fund. So that's why we think we are going to have this differential.
Right. So Spec Finance will be tokenizing a lot of asset classes in real world assets, right? So yes, and one of the key goals I think of Spec Finance is accessibility of the investment. So how does Spec Finance, allow users that has a minimal investment size?
There are a lot of very good investments opportunities, but they are they have like a minimal amount of investing. And for an example, there is a BlackRock token called Build. The minimum amount investment is $5 million, so it's very restricted to a few people. But using Spec, we can buy these assets, break down into smaller pieces, and put it available in our platform. So we can have like $1,000 token, $500 token. So it's way more accessible than $5 million. So that's
Yes.
what we're going to do. This fragmentation, it's of the investment. It's way easier to do using blockchain and way more cheaper. So I've we think there is a very interesting, very relevant thing here.
So yeah, a part of those asset classes, you'll be tokenizing money market funds and also government on-chain bonds, correct?
Yeah.
Why did you particularly select this asset classes? Is it something with the regulation? And aside from that, how do you ensure the safe and the transparency of these investments?
If you are talking about like protect your wealth against inflation, we cannot be exposure to very volatile assets. So US Treasury are really safe, and trading them using blockchain it's way better. Tokenized gold, the same. Of course, we're going to have like Bitcoin. We are targeting an audience that they are very conservative regarding investments, and they have to be because we are saving your money. You cannot like risk everything. So that's why we chose this kind of product. And yeah, we are doing everything by the book. So we are regulated. We got license to operate because people need to rely on our platform in order to put their savings, their funds with us. And we are very transparent company as well. So mainly because we use blockchain and it's public, you can audit it.
And how is the interface will be? Is it easy? Will it be too complicated since it's blockchain?
When we start like interacting with Web3 and crypto space, there is this element of self-custody, and we truly believe the massive adoption will happen when everyday people comes to crypto and they will use crypto without knowing they are using crypto. So they are using blockchain. So our platform is very Web2 experience because we think Web2 is very good in regarding user experience. So they are going to be using blockchain without knowing. That's the way we are doing.
Yeah, that is perfect. I think simplification is a way to onboard massive Web2 users to Web3. I interact with Speck Finance into Web2 interface, but then under the hood, unknowingly, I'm already interacting to Web3. So that's perfect. It's a great platform that you're talking about. So let's see Speck Finance in action. Let's play the video demonstration.
Hi everyone, this is Speck 2.0. We're launching our new platform. Let's get started. You're going to be able to log in with your Google account, which is very convenient, very easy to do. The first thing you need to do to be able to start investing in Speck is make a deposit. I'm going to do deposit $10,000 here. You're going to go through the steps. I'm going to confirm. I'm going to make the payment. All right. I'm going to confirm that I have already paid. Great. Now I have the transaction ID. It takes a few seconds or a few minutes for the balance to show up. Let's refresh the page and check it out. I already have a balance. Great. Now the next step is going to be choosing what I would like to invest. For this example, I'm going to be choosing Bitcoin. You can come here, read a little bit about Bitcoin. I go ahead and invest now. I have a balance of $10,000. I'm going to invest 500. I'm going to go ahead and invest. Now it's allocated. It's still pending. The backend is going to work and finalize the purchase. And once it's done, you're going to be able to claim your investment.
So yeah, lovely demonstration, Eduardo, of Speck Finance. So let's change the topic a bit. Congratulations, by the way, in getting an investment from XVC. And how did XDC and Launchpool, define your strategy?
We are Web2 entrepreneurs actually. So we had our first contact with Web3 like 3 years ago. So with XDC and Launchpool, you helped me a lot in order to be in contact with this world, and you gave me all the tips, all the knowledge that you shared was very relevant, very important for us to understand how this world works, how can we be successful in this Web3 space. And there are some subjects there very depth, like tokenomics. It's not that easy to create your tokenomics, and you guided us very well. That's I think how things should be, because you don't need to learn everything and find your own path, because you are already experienced in this market. So we need to listen to your advices, listen to your tips, then we can shortcut the success.
Lovely. Great to hear that you got great mentorship and also support from both XDC and Launchpool. So yes, Eduardo, you've built your platform. It's great so far. But what's next on your journey?
Now our platform is open for beta testers only. We are going to have our official launching by June. We are already incorporated in Costa Rica, but we are incorporating also in Switzerland, and there we need to get our license there. So next year probably we're going to operate in by Switzerland, which is a very advanced jurisdiction regarding crypto assets. So we already have our first customer, which is a family office. We have $100 million under management, and we are going to bring some percentage of their customer base into our platform. So I think this year we are finishing a lot of important things. Next year we are going to scale.
Right, perfect. All the best on the launching in June and the rest of your roadmap. So yes, Eduardo, before we end the podcast, any final message for the community? And also if you want to invite others to do the testing of your platform.
I think if you are individual from emerging markets, from emerging countries, be aware what we are doing at Speck Finance. Follow us in our social media, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter as well. And we are going to launch our platform soon, and you can have all the benefits with Speck Finance. So you are invited.
Thank you so much again, Eduardo, for being part of the Mina podcast and help us understand what Speck Finance is doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca.
You're welcome. And yes, all the official links of Speck Finance will be placed under the video description. If you want to know more about XDC Network, please go to zinfin.org or participate to our discussion or forum by going to xdc.dev. So keep learning, keep exploring until the next episode.